I delude myself into these things all the time, right? The vast majority of sports season, I walk in thinking my team has a chance, and the vast majority of time they do not.
I mean, we already know at the end of this show, Hoopa's gonna win, and it'll be
Forget
okay.
that. Deluding
yeah.
myself. I started this show
Thinking it
with
would end.
Mansoor Muhammad, thinking A, it would end. That's a very good point. And then B, that like I would understand like, oh, we'll do this, and then we'll have a nice flow into it. Here we are. What season is this? I don't even know. 7 seasons in, uh, and I don't know where the story went. I know there's an end goal at some point. The problem is, my past self was like, oh, if I say a calendar year, that'll make sense because we'll spend time doing this and that. They won't do things all the time. And then I've got two min-maxing players that have now basically beaten 80% of the story in 30% of the time.
2 min-maxing.
Daisy's not a min-maxer. I know that.
Well, when Sora and Ralph, that wasn't really a min-maxing situation either.
I'm a max minner. I go to the top with how little I can do.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Not a Scratch, the only podcast that believes that Scratch is an overpowered move. I'm your NPR host himself, Anaru, and with me here are my co-host in this journey. Why don't we introduce ourselves?
It's me, Muhammad. Very shocked at the sudden change of format. And in my stubborn old age, I shall return us to normalcy. By throwing it over to someone who does not understand the actual functional difference between chopsticks and a fork.
Well, I mean, if you use two forks, which why wouldn't you? It works the same. You can hold them both in one hand. Sometimes they get stuck together, but then that's just a fun game you gotta play, you know? And everybody loves to play during their food. Oh yeah, hi, I'm Daisy. And
I like how
what is it? Welcome to NPR?
Yeah, sure. I like how, two things. One, I like how I feel like every episode Daisy goes into the spiel, calms down, and then it's like, oh wait, by the way, I'm Daisy.
Yeah, that's part of the format.
And then the second thing I enjoy, I was not thinking chopstick pair versus fork pair. I was thinking chopstick pair versus fork singular. And then Daisy's like, no, but what if you use two forks?
I mean, you gotta compare and contrast, and you can't scientifically compare and contrast with two separate things that are not the same. You gotta have something consistent.
Well, yeah, pair of forks and pair of chopsticks are obviously equivalent, but
Or you could go
there's
ahead
also
and say you're gonna rip off.
quartet of chopsticks bundled together equals one fork.
You could rip off all of the tongs, whatever they're called, on a fork. Tines.
The point
Pointing tines. And just use those little two ones. But then at that point, they're just toothpicks.
Yeah, naturally.
I feel like at this point, Daisy, the human, has gone into this world, grabbed Victini's projector, and is now pointing at various different fork tongs and other items like that. Just being like, look at the analysis here. We did a whole study, took 7 months, we went over budget. Please listen.
Don't even get me started on spoons.
All right. Before we get into the spoon debate there, welcome everyone to Not a Scratch, the NPR show that is not sponsored by NPR. I am excited for this. I am enjoying our story. I hope you are as well. We're going to do this entire episode without yelling, he says, knowing full well that's not going to happen. Before we begin, though, we'd like to shout out our sponsors for this episode. First off,
Viewers like you.
well, we have to start with the sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Mansoor. Mansoor. If punching things doesn't work, I guess you can think about it. That's more of a Ralph thing.
Yeah, that was Ralph. That was an answer.
Yeah.
Also brought to you by the letter E.
It's also brought to you by Pokemon Generation 10. Go to your stores and then pre-order them now because that's about the only way you're going to get it. And is brought to you by Prismatic Evolutions. You're not getting this back, don't even bother. And finally, it's brought to us by viewers like you. Thank you. In the last episode, and then he realizes that nobody listened to the last episode, so he's gonna have to say it. In the last episode, we, as a group, descended upon the gates of Tenebris, only to find two Dreepy standing guard, asking for a very kind donation to the Dreepy Pocket Fund. Kyle did not wish to pay this. We also met a bear, specifically a Beware, 1/5 owner of Low Berry. Their name is Wary. They remind us of car salesmen, except a bad one. In other words, he's not very good at selling things. This bear, this Beware, the Wary bear, decided they wanted to join on with the squad as well, much to Rose's chagrin. And as the team descends upon this hill, they've got to figure out a way past this gate. Because clearly they're not paying the fee of whatever dollar value I said last time, times 10. Along the way as well, they take a little camp trip, a nighttime snack. They're eating the dream, specifically their own. Kyle has a sit-down talk with Celebi, who is weirdly normal in all things considered, especially for Celebi's sake, explaining a lot of different stories, including how the timeline is malleable and somebody in their organization, on their team, isn't who they say they are. Then on the other side of things, Daisy/Rose experienced a little bit of a phone call of their own with the Dark Hero, learning that Pearl has been kidnapped with Aaron and the Dark Hero, and that Isaac is missing.
Oh yeah.
I think that's everything.
I think you need to spend more time talking about the bear though, because we spent a majority of that episode talking about that bear.
Also, we named the entire franchise, the owners, who are the 1/5 owners. We may or may not meet them anymore. There's also, according to my math here, Le Berry has 200% ownership, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does. It
'cause
makes complete sense if you listen to the last episode and learn about the ownership structure of Le Berry.
That's actually a good point. Yes, you're going to
I
find
thought-
out all of that somewhere.
I thought between the 5 of them, they only had like 40%.
Yeah, between
no,
the
but
five
you-
of them, they have 49.
They have 40. Well, but that's how it has 200% ownership because they are like in the face of it the full owners, but in reality they're the half owners. And if you're full and you're only half, then the total is double.
That's quick maths by our senior math correspondent.
Number.
Boom. It's also brought to you by 200%.
Welcome to Bear Chat, everybody.
Bear chat. Guys, we're just pivoting the show at this point. Now we're just going to talk about these bears all the time. And I think that's everything. Anything else that I'm missing here?
No, sounds about right. We're going in to try and find wherever the wherevers are, so we can find whatever it is that we need to do whatever.
Yep.
Quick maths. All right. Without further ado, let us dive on in. Splash. I'm going to stop talking in this ASMR voice because it doesn't quite fit our vibe here. Even though it is nighttime with Dreepy, and you just woke up. Speaking of, you just woke up.
Well, did Daisy wake up or did everyone wake up?
I'm gonna say everyone woke up. Why?
I mean,
Why?
I'm awake.
It's
but
nighttime.
I don't know if Rose is awake.
I'm gonna say you wake up.
Yeah, my
But
bad.
not
Daisy.
at like.
First time I've done that, I think, in a while.
I'm gonna say you wake up, but you wake up. I was adjusting the wrong thing. I'm like, why is it July? It's not July. It's September. It's the 13th, actually. Fun fact. That's a fun fact. It'd be
Is it
Tuesday
Friday?
if that mattered.
Oh.
And then
I was gonna say being incredibly unlucky right now would be incredibly helpful.
it is it is Tuesday, September 13th. It is 1 a.m. It is very early in the morning. And just a reminder, Kyle, due to guild rules, you are expected to be at a guild by the 23rd. Granted,
Yes.
based on the pace of the show, that's in season 9, but you know, to throw it out there all the time.
Well, yeah. The real question is, we went on foot because we were like, oh, it'll be easy enough to get there on foot because it'll be, it's close enough by. But now we're stalled, and the time we had to burn on foot travel is now being burned on, the Treevy
Door.
door.
All you guys wake up. It is still pitch black night.
Every TTRPG's fit. Every TTRPG party's. Every TTRPG campaign's party's greatest enemy, a door.
A door.
Wow, that was a horrid sentence. Could you tell I woke up not an hour ago?
um, it is still nighttime. Both of you guys wake up with a start. Rotom is still asleep. Uh, Wary is asleep, but not sleeping in your group because I think you guys are like, no, we're with us. You go sleep over there. Um, Plus, he tried to sell you your own bed, and I think that just kind of bothered you guys. And so, and then Vikini's sleeping in a tree that isn't a tree, but a projected tree that nobody seems to know. But yes, you guys awake with a start.
So, um,
Kyle's scanning around, very confused why he's awake at Check's clock, not morning.
nice night we're having. Look at the
Like it-
moon up
Like they
there
did
in
to
the
Daisy.
sky.
Daisy's trying to make small talk while Kyle's like doing this massive investigation. Speaking of, go ahead and roll investigation for me, Kyle. Daisy, Rose, if you want to, you can do it as well.
I want to learn what phase the moon is in.
I actually do want to know this as well.
I can look this up.
Kyle rolled a 15, by the way.
I mean, I can just roll you a percentile illumination.
No. I have a time.
Okay.
This will be accurate.
Don't want to randomize the phase of the moon every night?
No,
No,
because
so-
Honorud has to keep it accurate to the calendar.
That's assuming that the region is on Earth. We could have a moon that goes real fast.
It's actually constantly a new moon because it goes around so fast that you never actually get to the point where the moon is not directly between you and the sun. It's actually just like locked in tandem. It's oh god, what's it called when like two orbits are in sync? I know there's a word for it.
Tidal lock.
I was thinking more in the context of space, but I mean, tidal lock also works kind of. But
Orbital lock? I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
I
were
don't
so close. All right, so it's a waning gibbous moon, but like it is full. It was a full moon a few days ago.
I love a gibbous. I love a gibbous.
It
And
was
to
a
be
full
fair,
moon- yeah. Sorry, go.
waning gibbuses are better than waxing ones, to be fair.
Waning gibbous. A few days ago, totally unrelated. You heard the loud roars of an Ursaluna evolving.
It's better than a
Even though-
whining
even though
gibbous,
Yeah,
am I right?
Otter-
Evolution's not real.
Otter-
Evolution
Otter-
isn't real, but you heard it anyway. It was in a
Otter, try
distant
again.
universe. No. You heard it in a distant universe because somebody in the real world was playing Legends Arceus and finally figured it out because it doesn't make any sense. How are you supposed to know?
Wait, and
evolves like that.
No, wait. And Ursaluna evolving, as in, like, clarify. Because,
Yeah, Ursaluna evolved
okay,
back into
Ursa
Teddy
Ring
Ursa.
To Ursaluna
okay.
occurred in a
Okay.
Legends Arceus playthrough because somebody finally realized that it's a peak block at nighttime during the full moon with obviously Ursaring in your party. I don't know how you were supposed to figure this out. I literally figured it out on accident. I was doing a Clefairy mission and then it just happened to. I was going through my bag and figured it out from there. How are you supposed to figure that out? It doesn't make sense. Anyway,
Okay, let me
I'm
repeat
pretty
my
sure
joke.
Dex entries
now.
are supposed to help you.
At least it's not a whining gibbous.
I'm whining right now. No. All right.
Thank
Investigation check was a 15 from Kyle. From Rose, did you want to do it? It's up to you.
No, I was just doing a moon check.
All right. Moonjack, give us waning variety.
Waning. A very,
Couple
very
days.
important distinction.
Yes, because in Gen 10, there's going to be a Pokemon. Lunatone evolves only if it's a waning, waning time.
Well, hold on. Lunatone for the direction it's facing is, I believe it's a waxing crescent, right?
No, it's on the left side. It's waning.
Okay, it's a waning crescent.
Yeah.
Well,
But
depends on which side you're
Lunatone,
looking at it from, right?
from the Earth, you're always looking at the moon from the same direction.
Right, but from a
No.
Lunatone,
Otterud's
like,
talking about the direction of the Lunatone, but Otterud, we're clearly looking at the Lunatone head on here. It's
Oh my
it's about
gosh.
what the Lunatone wants to be perceived as.
So we're looking at flat
Yes.
rock.
we're looking at a flat rock.
Lunatone changes in Gen 10 based on the moon, so then you can always know when it's time to evolve Ursaring.
Oh my god.
Lunatone and Ursaring combine in Gen 10.
Ursa Lunatone.
Luna Ring.
That's the one.
Right. There was a story happening. So as
Let's get back to the game we're playing.
Yeah, as Rose is looking up at the moon, trying to calculate exactly how many degrees of wane has occurred, Kyle, you're looking around here. There's no noise coming from your party, but from the other side where the Dreepies are, they're having a conversation. Um,
Can I hear them?
with a 15, yeah, I think with a 15, you'd be able to hear the conversation that they're having.
Quite a loud one.
You're all asleep, according to Dreepy. I will ask for you to give me a stealth roll. Yeah. I'm going to ask you to give me a stealth roll.
That
And-
hesitation made me pull out a second D20, and I'm very upset that I'm not using it.
No, you don't. I'll give it to you. With a 15, I'll give it to you with advantage.
Thank you. I rolled a nat 1. Okay, and then 11
almost spit out my
plus
coffee.
2.
How much was it? Sorry?
13.
13 total?
Yes.
Okay, that's good though. If you'd like, you can get a little closer. I'll leave it up to you. You have the ability to do so with your 13 stealth there.
Well, yeah, Kyle is gonna try and hear what this conversation is. Of course.
Daisy, meanwhile, Rose is looking up at the sky and she swears for some reason, not sure why, there's a hole in the moon. So you are engrossed by the moon and this weird, like, it looks like a pixel on the screen is black for some reason. You're just looking at it like, that's not.
It's cheese, confirmed.
That can't be right. So I don't even think you noticed Kyle. You just so focused on that Kyle is just kind of waltzed off. And Kyle, you sneak up a little bit to these gates. There's a few real bushes and one very fake one that Wary tried to make as a tactic to try to get past the guards, which obviously didn't work because the bush was moving. But that's still like there, so you can hide behind any of those. I'll leave it up to you, just for color's sake.
Obviously the fake one.
The fake one. So there's one that, like, Kyle, you're the only reason why this works for you is because you are the same like color as the bush. Otherwise, this would be.
And also, it's been sitting there for forever, and the guards are like, it's just sitting there. We know.
They
there's no
know,
one
yeah,
else
they know
behind
where
it."
he is over there in that corner. They can't be here at the same time.
Exactly.
Ah.
Kyle is hiding in plain sight.
And you overhear this conversation the Dreepy are having. So the Dreepy. So reminder, one of them is behind the gate. One of them is in front of the gate. Ooh, do I do this? I'm gonna roll something.
Roll for how silly and goofy and dumb the Dreepy are.
Kind of. I would like one of you. Actually, we could 1, 2, 3. Both of you guys roll percentiles.
Onward, you said percentiles, and for a half second, I was like, "That's not a die." It didn't start with a D. It's not a die.
Roll D percentile.
Direct percentage.
Where is my? Okay, now I'm very concerned. I don't know where my other D singles digit. I don't know where either of them are.
I got a 23.
Sorry, I'm having trouble identifying my dice. There it is. Wow, it was in front of me the whole time. 79.
Between the
I
two
could
of
like
us,
to-
we got 100 something.
For the life of me, I can't find a single D8. I don't understand. Oh,
I couldn't find my D10, but I found all my D8s. If you want a D8, it's 7.
Well, let me tell you, it's tough to get a date out here, too.
Depression. All right. For this episode, I've used just a variety of dice, so we'll see what that means. Remind me what your rolls were.
500. I got a 23.
I rolled a
73.
1. Put a 1 on a percentile die.
No, you got a 79.
Oh, 79, you're right, yeah.
All right. So we had 79 and
23.
23. Okay.
For a total of 102.
Okie doke. I rolled a 1.
103.
Don't know how that happened. Anyway, so I think with that, the two Dreepy are having a conversation. There is a shadowy figure in the background of the one in the gates, which, Kyle, you were close enough to see this. This is a Dragapult.
Oh.
I knew it, there was one nearby.
Okay. When you say a shadowy figure, is it like, oh, the Dragapult is like kinda half Phantom Forcey right now, like it's very ghosty, or is it like a Dragapult wearing a cloak?
A Dracloak.
Oh.
It is in the shadows of the buildings in the city.
Aww.
But you can make it out because I think it'll like the lights will shine at a certain point and it'll occasionally show the glimmer. Rose, if at any point in
Also,
time
I
you felt
feel
like
like if you're hiding in the shadows, you don't need like all. Dragon Ball's one of those mobs where all you need to see is the outline, and you're just like, oh yeah, giant triangle. There's no
Yeah.
one else that can be.
It's a
Yeah,
Voltorb seen from above.
Oh,
um, so that is the case there. So there's Dragapult in the background. That is on Kyle's roll. Rose's roll. I'll let you know this just for the fun sake. So Kyle, you rolled the fact that Dragapult is here. Alert, alert. The conversation they're having, I'm not gonna voice act it, but they're effectively talking about like raising the rents slash not rents, the
Toll.
fees, the
Ugh,
tolls, even more.
landlords.
hey, yeah. What did you expect? This is on a Root Renegade campaign.
What you talking about? We did a whole anti-capitalist thing in the last episode. Okay, Liberia is not exactly the world's greatest store. So, anywho, Dragapult
Just because they're
is,
bad at business doesn't mean they're that's anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
no.
We'll,
Their whole-
we'll break this down in the post. But
I stand by this. They are a prime example of me showing that I also find capitalism annoying at times. And it's just my innate inability to actually say negative things that prevents me from flat out, blasting it. Anywho,
You're fine.
Dragapult, Dragapult is there in the corner. That's bad. The gate though is ajar. That's potentially good.
The peanut butter jar?
Just a jar.
ooh,
Sorry, it's not a
And-
nighttime recording. I'll restrain myself.
it might as well be.
But I rolled a 1, and small numbers are very good. This is the smallest number you can do technically, right? I think.
Yes.
Is it okay? So I've never understood this about percentile dice. Is it 1 to
Triple
100?
zeros is 100.
Is 100. Okay, that's what I figured. In that case,
Aces are high.
I rolled a 1. So Kyle, because I rolled a 1, you feel a tap on the back of your shoulder.
Kyle is almost involuntarily gonna almost jump and then realizes, wait, I'm being stealthy, and just turns his head.
You jump, but not at all.
Kyle tenses up, ready to jump, and then is like, wait, I can't jump. Head turns 180 degrees like a knocked owl.
And behind you is the Magician Thief. Hello, this is Anaru, the GM, PM, DM of Not a Scratch, and thank you for listening to this episode. For once, we're uploading on time. That's on me, I'll be honest. As always, hopefully going forward, episodes come out bi-weekly for this season, so be sure to follow us, subscribe, and do all those important things you ought to do when supporting a podcast. If you've enjoyed the episode and want to support us in any way, shape, or form that you can, the best way to do so is to share us with your friends. Share us with people that are really good with scheduling. I'm asking that because I may or may not need a little assistance on that regard, as you can tell by the chaos that is surrounding my life in particular. But if you want to contribute to the chaos, that'd be great. You can do so by leaving a review on your podcasting platform. Reviews help to bring new people into our community and give us advice on what we can improve upon in the future. So 5 stars. That'd be nice. I mean, if you want to do something else, you can, but it would be sad unless there's a reason for it. If you give us the stars that you think would be best for the show, even though I think it's 5 stars. I'm just saying. You can also follow us on all the socials at Not a Scratchcast, or depending on the socials, at Adoran Region. You might be using my personal content one, or email us at notascratchcast@gmail.com if you have any cool ideas to add to the podcast or just want to reach out to us. We also have a Discord for Not a Scratch, which have a bunch of amazing, awesome people that have already joined, which you can join to help build that Not a Scratch community. Speaking of that Not a Scratch community, we are taking questions for our our seasonal Q&A sessions. So the Arc 7 Q&A, we have, as of this episode, completed the recordings for this season, which means we are preparing for that Q&A just like you are. So if you have any questions, you can tag us on any social media site that we're on, either at Not a Scratchcast or at Adoran Region. Or if you join our Discord, there's an entire channel that's dedicated to these type of questions, which we'll compile and eventually answer during our Q&A session. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. You can also go to our website, which you can check out at www.notascratchcast.com. The website has access to all of our episodes, our merch page, which is constantly updating, and an art page where we post both commission and fan art. So you should check that out because, it's fun. It's a cool site. I like it. We also want to thank Glitch X City and Tabletop Audio for the songs Kirby's Dream Land Lo-Fi Remix and Abandoned Ship Remix on Glitch X City side, and Forest Night Haunted and Nightmare for Tabletop Audio. We also want to shout out our patrons. We at Not a Scratch have a Patreon where you can get amazing extra benefits regarding the show and its future, including early access to episodes, behind-the-scenes looks at what goes into the games, and more. You'll also be recognized during the show right here, so thank you to our Patreon members, Ursa93, Eli, Damon Liger, Fennec, Evelyn C., Arming Sword and Buckler, Darkrai Drive, and Intellion Spy. For more information, you can check out the links in the episode description or contact us on Discord, socials, the whole 9 yards. We are planning to do the promo thing, so if you've got a promo on the show for your podcast or anything else that you've got, we'd love to help. Send us an email, contact us on the socials, and we'd be happy to discuss more. This episode doesn't have one, although you could check out the Detective Conan podcast that I have, where we go through and pretend to be a detective solving the case along with the actual show itself. You can check that out. At least right now it's on Spotify. It's also available, hopefully, in the future on other platforms as well. Little shout out there for something else that I do. But for now, let's go back to everyone's favorite character, Rose's favorite character. That one was said sarcastically, the Magician Thief. And behind you is the Magician Thief.
Oh, of course it is. Hello.
Shh, listen.
Kyle didn't say anything.
I think even the thought, your thoughts are already making the Magician Thief like, no, be
Your
quiet.
thoughts are loud.
Kyle is just gonna give the Magician Thief just the deadpan look of just like, really? I'm being hushed?
Is it just you?
Kyle,
Magician Thief terrified of Rose.
Kyle gives like a 50-50 motion with his hand, and then points thumb over in direction of camp.
Where meanwhile, Rose has pulled out a full-on like astral projection map and everything like that, and not astral projection map, like a mini telescope, and has like a map of the moon phases, and is drawing this out. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. The moon is a circle, and yet there's this giant gap in the middle. It looks like a donut now. What's going on?
We can level up.
Rotom is still asleep. Victini is still projection-wise.
And I assume the Magician Thief is looking full on at Victini, just like, a very clever disguise.
Give me a
An envious
insight.
look. The Magician Thief could never.
Give me an insight if you want to know that.
I rolled a 3.
No idea. Just kind of scrolls over, sees Rose for sure, and then looks around. And then Magician Thief, like, again, somehow, despite being in a cloak and everything, finger up to, finger, literal or figurative, up to mouth. Shh, follow me. And then,
starts to go through the gate undetected, presumably.
no,
Just like-
he's going away from everybody.
Oh,
So like, away from the gate, away from Beware, away from your party, and everything like that.
Kyle is going to, because I assume the Magician Thief like started moving fast, right?
Yes, Magician Thief also says bring others if you want.
Kyle thinks for a second, remembers Rose's interactions with the Magician Thief, then realizes, oh my god, I'm losing ground on I need to catch up to the Magician Thief quick, or I'm gonna not know where the Magician Thief went.
It's okay. They didn't want you to
takes
bring
like
me
a little
anyway.
stick nearby, throws it in the river in the opposite direction of where they're going to buy himself time to sprint and catch up with the Magician Thief.
Okay.
Oh, I fully just conjured a point of failure out of nowhere. Did not need to do that, and yet it's comedically funny. And also, you rolled bad.
I rolled very bad. I rolled a 2, and so as a result of that, Kyle, I'm gonna force you to make a decision here. As you look towards the gate, you notice that Dragapult is gone. The stick that you just randomly threw in the distance has alerted both of the Dreepies, and they are both running in that direction.
Yeah, exactly. And so Kyle's
now-
gonna like sprint to catch up with the magician thief.
Well, no. So now, I'm gonna dangle this in front of you. The gate has nobody there now. It is open.
Kyle's gonna run to catch up with the magician thief and like tap cloak and point at gate.
It's a trap.
Oh no, I know it's a trap. The dragon pulp's there.
Pause. Rose, you have finally done your full analysis, and you have realized. Wait a minute. The telescope has a hole, like a black. Somebody left like some black mark on the telescope, which has been making everything look like it's a donut. You have cleaned that up,
It's the
And
best
so it's also-
kind of telescope. Everything
And
looks
now-
like donut.
and now you realize. Wait a minute. The moon doesn't have a hole in it. I'm a
Wait.
genius.
How did it look like that when I didn't have the telescope then?
A mystery a mystery that will never be solved. Meanwhile, give me a perception roll. This probably is good. Yeah.
Perception. And that's with my
Beauty.
beauty. Thank you. 12 plus 3 for 15.
Ooh. All right. So somehow, despite being so engrossed by this moon extravaganza, as soon as it's over, you look over to the gates and you see everything that's happening. You see Kyle having snuck down there. You see a cloaked figure in the corner. You see Kyle, a cloaked figure, run away. Kyle throws a stick just in the distance, and both of the Dreepy having run off in that direction. Kyle, I am going to ask you whether or not you would have. I don't. How best to ask this? Effectively, do you want Daisy to follow you? Like, would you, Kyle, want Daisy to follow you?
I don't. Kyle isn't opposed, but Kyle didn't actively go be like, "Let me get Rose," you know, because
Okay.
Kyle knows, hey, magician thief, you know, good resource for me. Let me, you know, good resource for me. I don't want Rose to fumble this too hard. However, if Rose follows, Kyle's not gonna be like, shoot.
Okay.
Do I see
Um,
Kyle going towards the gate now that it's unguarded?
Kyle's still
or-
running towards the magician thief.
No, Kyle is going away from the gate. Kyle, you can see Kyle looks to where your campsite is, looks at the gate, runs off towards the thief.
Okay. I don't see the
Um,
magician thief though, do I?
You see
You
a
saw a
cloaked
cloak.
figure, and I think you don't even have to roll for this. I think Daisy's innate anger boiling in the back of their head for no real reason, whatever that is. When you just get frustrated for the heck of it, I think you can put two and two together and be like, I'm mad. I guess I know who's here. It's your aura, actually. Your aura just like flares up for no real reason. Of like, ooh, I want to punch something for some reason. Oh, I know who's here. But so
Um,
you see Kyle run off towards presumably magician thief. You see the gates are unlocked with nobody there. I leave it up to you as to what you want to do.
I feel like we're about to end up with an incredibly comedic situation in about 7 minutes.
I think. Can I just like?
Reminder: Rotom is asleep, and then Victini is asleep in a tree,
Can I just?
In
like,
a, in
Where is
quotes,
this?
tree.
in a quote unquote tree.
Can I grab Victini by the ear and start going towards the gate?
Oh my god.
You grab Victini. Victini, what is going on?
Shh. Point.
What? Oh. Victini's just out of
Dra-
nowhere shoots some fire at Rotom, just be like, wake up. Rotom literally figuratively floats, jumps,
Drag.
whatever the equivalent is, electric shocks themselves like 10 feet in the air and then flies back down.
I'm
Victini,
just-
what was that?
Just
Well-
dragging Victini by the ears towards the gate.
The V wheel is very quickly and happily rolling towards the gate, just like, the gate is open.
The wheel is rolling down. I don't know how big you guys picture the wheel. I'm picturing like a Wheel of Fortune, not the Wheel of
Oh.
Fortune. Sorry, like the Price is Right giant wheel.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
okay. All right, just make sure.
This thing is about 10 Victinis tall, and Victini carries it around.
The wheel is pleased.
So big wheel, go down. I'm gonna
The
have
wheel
Rose.
rolls on towards adventure.
Rose, I'm going to have you make a choice here.
Okie dokie.
You can do one of two
Okey-dokey.
things. Either A, roll stealth for the group by yourself, or B, you and me twice roll stealth for the group. Basically, how lucky do you think I am? I have notoriously been known to roll very bad for a DM.
Stealth is what? Cool?
Stealth is cool. Victini and Rotom will both get flat rolls on this.
Well, I was about to ask, does Rotom get different stat blocks and different rolls depending on which form Rotom is in? Because if so, switching to Fan or Wash might be the move.
Yes, however, Rotom A is in current. Rotom is currently in their base form, and more importantly, you as of this point, and neither does Rotom, know which one is best. There are 5 different forms. Each one is got one that it's really good at. You can take a guess. You can cross your fingers. But of course, because of how I have this,
I thought the
one of
stat
them is
block
really
was
bad.
based on the typing.
Yes, you could fourth wall this, I suppose, and go into the type chart and everything. However, for dramatic effect, I hope Rose won't do that.
I wouldn't even know how to. I mean, for sake of my stats being terrible, I'll let them roll.
Or actually, here, let me be more specific.
Rose
about
is
this.
about to be loud and boisterous while this 25-foot wheel just rolls through the gate, no problem.
Let me be more specific about this. We will do the math here. Okay. So Victini will get a +1 to the stealth roll, and as of this current point, it's a flat roll for Rotom, as a base Rotom.
Mm-hmm.
So you rolling for the group, or we each rolling independently?
I'll roll for me, and then they can roll for them.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead and roll me a stealth roll.
Because I'm not taking my chances with my -1 cool.
The wheel is constantly rolling, and therefore need not roll a die.
The wheel is omnipotent. It knows all, sees all, and tells all. Therefore, all you have to do is just say, "You can't see me." Then John Cena appears and punches the Dragon Bolt.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like those options.
Would they be immune to that, or would it be a dark type punch? Considering John Cena has now turned heel.
Very good question. These are the type of questions that we ask about. It would be a low blow because he's a healer at this point, so that's definitely a dark type move.
But low kick is a fighting type.
What's it? You know what? It's just beat up. He just beats you up. That's it.
But then beat up is using not the attack stat.
Oh no, it does use the attack stat of John Cena at one point, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it uses the attack stat of the Wheel and Victini and Rose and Rotom.
It uses the attack stat of John Cena.
Go ahead and give me your rolls.
Oh, I got a 11.
11. Well, with Victini having a dirty 20 and Rotom having a nat 20.
DM,
essence of darkness
DM dice
surrounds
luck
you.
baffles me.
I don't know how.
Is it dice luck or is it player luck?
I think yeah. There's a player just infecting my dice when they want to. You guys, the epitome of darkness, vanish as soon as you walk through the gates, and we will get back to you in a moment. Back over to
Rotom
Kyle.
casts Phantom Force.
Kyle, you and the Magician Thief are now a ways away from the gates, from the doors. You cannot see any of this occurring. And as you walk over, Magician Thief kind of calms down after a little bit and turns to you. Again, you can't see their face. They seem serious, though. No joking, no fooling around. Serious time.
I think Kyle, seeing this, is immediately just like, oh.
So, you know what? No games, no puzzles, no riddles. Let's get straight to the point. You're wanted.
Question. What does Kyle know about the Dark Hero and Aaron situation right now?
In a dungeon in somewhere in Tenebris. Last time you saw them was when they were in Nightville, I believe I said. Nightville or Baneville, sorry.
Yeah, that's the last time they were sighted. But no, Kyle. I think Kyle has pieced together. Kyle doesn't know that Pearl's with them. Kyle doesn't know that Isaac is now missing.
Correct.
But Kyle has pieced. Was Pearl missing at that point? I don't remember.
No, Pearl is as of the dream that Rose just had.
Yeah.
So as a result, you don't know that information. You know Celebi's stuff though, obviously.
Yeah. So I think Kyle has pieced together. Oh yeah, wherever the Dark Hero and Aaron are, they're hunting down recruits. So I think Kyle will have pieced that together. So Kyle is just gonna give the magician thief a deadpan look of just like, oh really?
No, but it's not your and my thing. It's a different thing. And
Kyle at this point raises an eyebrow skeptically, just like, okay, surprise me, please. I dare you.
Pulls out a piece of paper, hands it to you. Wanted for the disappearance of Susie the Ralts. Your face is in bright. They got it's bad because they got you good. Like, this is a good sketch.
That could be any Trico. Come on, no.
It's got your stick. Oh no, it's my stick.
So okay.
Magician Thief pulls out another one with Rose on it as well.
I don't even know that kid.
Well, does it say anything other than wanted? And does it say who put? Does it say like where to turn the person in? Does it say a reward? What else is on there?
It's got a reward of 100,000 poke. It said you turn them into the Tenebris Investigation Corps.
Tenebris being, I forget, is it the state we're going to or the state?
The state you're about to enter.
Oh, Kyle looks up at the magician thief with a very devious smile.
Oh no. Here's the thing. This hasn't spread outside of the state yet, so nobody else knows about this. I don't even know. Do you know who this Susie person is?
Kyle nods.
Okay. Do they seem like the type of person to go missing at random times?
Kyle very aggressively nods.
This is not good. Okay. Well, all right then. Talk to me. What's your plan?
Well, 100,000 poke's a lot of poke.
Okay, I get you. However, you're wanted. They, pointing to where Rose presumably is right now, they're wanted. I'm wanted. We're running out of people here.
Do they have to know it's you that turned me in? You're a master of disguise, are you not?
Oh, I'm not gonna like this, am I?
Here it is, folks. Kyle's the villain now.
Cut to something that happens there. I will say this. I didn't mention this explicitly. The message is being spread throughout Tenebris right now, which is why the Dreepy didn't immediately arrest you as soon as you were like, "Hi, can I go in?"
Yes. And here's the thing. Kyle is thinking, well, if Kyle and Rose are wanted for this specific thing, the only common thread there is recruits, because how else would Rose know Susie? Bada bing, bada boom. Kyle's like, maybe this gets us answers. It also gets us past the gate.
Makes us money, gets us answers, gets us past the gate.
Listen, all Kyle's gonna ask for is a 50-50 cut with the magician thief. That's all Kyle's gonna ask for. The magician thief's alter ego gets a cool 100,000. When Kyle gets out, Kyle comes to collect. Kyle's broken out of jail. Once Kyle can do it again.
Okay, I see the plan.
This is not how Otterud was expecting this to go.
I was expecting something dumb. I was not expecting this.
How is this not the first thing you expected, Otterud?
I don't know. I was thinking more stealth oriented, like, oh, that means I gotta be real sneaky in the town. You're like, nah, I'm just gonna show up.
Well, no, because why be sneaky and risk getting caught instead of just turning yourself in and advancing the plot?
Fair. All right.
Kyle's playing Assassin's Creed.
All right. But I need to look like somebody else. Stares over at where Weary is.
Oh my goodness.
Please hold. Poof. Disappears. You just hear there's just silence. And then out of nowhere you just hear, ow! Poof. Cool. I needed some of that now. Be right back. If you see a beware, come out. That's me. Please hold. And Magician Thief turns around and starts like pulling out some potions book, effectively just making and mixing, matching all these sort of things. Kyle, give me an investigation with disadvantage if you want.
Yes, please.
The magician thief making a freaking polyjuice potion?
Listen, I thought the magician thief was gonna use transform, not do this. You said with disadvantage?
with disadvantage.
Could have been a 19. It was an 8.
Something's there. He's mix and match and all these sort of things. The only thing you recognize out of this is that at the end of it, he's got an orb that he instantly breaks.
Oh! Pocket that for later.
So that's
Smash.
how we make
Boom.
the orbs.
Boom. This is happening maybe like 50 feet away or something like that. And after the smoke clears a little bit, it blows away from the fog. You see a Beware standing in front of you.
Kyle is gonna like take like a walk around the new Beware, just like inspecting, looking for any dead giveaways.
It is a carbon copy of the Beware that is currently out there sleeping, or maybe falling asleep again now.
Yeah, Kyle's gonna finish his lap in front of the magician thief, look up approvingly, nod, and then open up arms for hug, because you know Beware.
Beware of that hug.
Ahem. Have I got a deal for you? There we go. Now, you do know if I do that, it will kind of crush you.
Kyle gives nod and is just like, hey, are we gonna make this convincing or not?
Good point. Roll for initiative. No kidding.
Kyle
Roll.
thumped.
That's a 14. An arm thrust to the face. So, cut to 2 minutes later. Kyle, you've been through. You remember when Ralph like had sparring matches, stuff like that. You battled Ralph once or twice. Cut to that image of what the old GIF of like Leaf smack from
Yes.
Arc 3. It's just the aftermath of that. Beware has no scratches on them whatsoever. Empty
And his
Beware.
I'm just imagining this Beware looking pristine, holding up a beaten up Kyle by the scruff of the neck, walking over to the gate.
They just pull the magician thief pulls out of their bag a bag, and it's like just get in the burlap sack.
Get in the bag, Kyle.
Get in the bag. Get in the bag, Nebby.
Oh my gosh.
And so like your head's sticking out, but clearly like, oh no, the damage has been dealt. Alert.
Is
Sad
Kyle
face.
conscious?
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
okay. Sorry, Kyle is conscious. We know this. Does Kyle appear conscious?
You're dazed, I think.
Yeah. Well, Kyle appears dazed. It was
Correct,
all incredible acting.
You know what? Just because of that, Kyle, just for vibes, this isn't gonna impact anything. Roll a performance. That's a cute roll for me.
Say less.
How good are you at acting like a beaten up person?
Kyle is apparently not that good at acting. I rolled a 4. Kyle had to actually be beaten up to look like this.
We spent 45 minutes trying to explain. No, you need to stop moving, and then you just like not figure this out whatsoever. It's doing the old hand to the forehead. Oh no, woe is me. I have been damaged by a particular attack. That's not how you do it. To be or not to be damaged? That is the question.
Eventually, the magician thief gives up and just actually pounds Kyle
Just
into
clocks
the
you
dirt.
in the face. And now we cut back, 45 minutes later or so. And Magician Thief Beware has you basically in the burlap sack. They're a Dreepy again back at the gates. The door is closed. And the Dreepy just go, oh, look, man, we told you before, we're not letting you in. But I beg to differ. Because you see, I have something of great importance to you. Unlike the actual Weary, who has basically whatever car salesman had 0 charisma, Magician Thief, great at charisma, great at performance. This is his thing. So, what if I told you I had somebody you have been looking for a very, very long time? Shows the burlap sack of the... Or you're technically not unconscious, but you might as well be because you couldn't act unconscious. Kyle here.
Yeah. Could we have just had Kyle in the burlap sack, just like flailing around, like just like I can't move. Maybe, but no. This is the route we went.
It hasn't been that long of a time if the flyer's just now getting around.
It's been spread throughout 10 of us. It's just reached them. But I think these guys are low level. Beware is doing his charisma things. It's like, oh, you've been looking for this guy for a long time, haven't you? We've been looking for this guy for a very long time. Yes, absolutely. I knew totally about this thing.
This is the Trico you're looking for.
That is the Trico I'm looking for. We found the Trico. Yes. This is trees co. Yes.
Trees and company.
Door just opens before the Dreepy realizes what they're doing. They're just like, yes, we must open the door. Thank you. Could you send me? Could you send me to the investigation corps, please? Go straight, take a left, take a right, etc. Go down Main Street, knock 3 times, etc. Absolutely. And you, Kyle, and the Magician Thief, waltz on in. Woo! Cut back to 45 minutes ago. Rose.
45.
Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. You're in the gates, in the shadows. You are so in the shadows, in fact, that you don't need to bother like rolling for stealth again anytime soon. Rotom is just like, guys, I have Shadow Sneak. Maybe I think you could probably learn Shadow Sneak. Rotom's like, guys, what if I feel like Rotom could learn Shadow Sneak.
I'm gonna fact check you on this while you continue.
Rotom has some shadow ability that allows
This
you guys to basically
Rotom
just
has
walk.
Shadow Sneak.
This is an event Rotom. There you go.
Until proven otherwise.
So you guys are walking inside here. Unlike any town in any state that you've ever been in, this area feels ominous. It feels dark. It feels spooky. It feels like the Pokemon are not there all the way. There's something that's holding them down, something that's scaring them. And again, reminder, this is still like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. By the way, for whatever reason, if you guys aren't like fully healed, you can go ahead and do so. I think you are, but just in case you're wrong. But you're sneaking through.
Rotom does not learn shadows.
It doesn't?
No.
No, boo. Any ghost moves that it can learn that would be applicable here?
Astonish!
Rotom scares the shadows into helping them.
I'm pretty sure Astonish is like the only physical ghost move against.
Golly.
I lied, Poltergeist.
Would Poltergeist work here? I don't know.
No.
I'm trying to figure out how that would work in the first place. Anyway, so you guys are sneaking through the shadows and everything like that, going through this town. You feel this ominous sort of aura. Victinia's looking around very confused because, as they go on to explain, this is not normal for this town. Like, yeah, it's dark, but not like this. There's like a sense of evil around this area or something like that.
And I mean, I don't know where to go, but is there like what do you mean by sense of evil?
It seems as though, because I've been here before, and it's odd. It feels as though there's just well, even at nighttime the town is normally bustling, and yet nobody's here. It feels like there's this vibe of darkness, I guess, is the best way to describe it.
Vibe? Can I try and like tap into that sense that I think the Dark Hero was talking about? Like try to find like dowsing, find him or something? When I get closer, something will feel closer.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a what's this, Arcana? Your smart roll.
Smart. Let's see. My smart roll is 10 plus 1, 11.
With that roll, you turn on your aura and instantly feel this wave of fear that just envelops you. You have to switch off your aura basically very, very quickly because it would overwhelm you. But yeah, you just get that. It feels as though there is a Pokemon here, or Pokemons, that is just repressing all emotion.
Interesting. Oops. What else can I do? I guess I can try and... Did I get any hints about like what locations to look for?
The goal is to get through through the town, through the gate. You can try to investigate for information about the Dark Hero and all of them, because the only thing that you know is that they were last seen in Baneville. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are there. Baneville, by the way, is about 25 units away, so it's a couple days journey.
Right. This is not just a town, right?
This right here is the border town of Yami. That's what I've named it. Totally
Okay.
unrelated to any sort of other franchise whatsoever. I don't know what you're talking about.
I guess I'm just.
Anirudh making his plot threads incredibly obvious, only for us to still not get it.
I'm gonna look for a map of how to get to Badenville then.
Sure. I think you would have a map. Do you need the map? You have the map. You would have a map with you.
Okay.
I'll say. So
Huh. I didn't think this far through.
I'm here. Now what?
I guess I'm just gonna look for a building that looks most important.
Oh my god, we're gonna end up at the same building.
Sure. Why
I
not?
find a bakery.
You pass by a bunch of things, a bunch of stuff, a bunch of cool stuff. That'd be funny. What if we did?
No, what if we didn't, Anirudh?
Would you? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I think you find the shop. Nobody's there. There are no Kecleons. There's also no items there. You find Kangaskhan's place. Nothing there. Kangaskhan, Kecleons. The marketplace is closed down. The town is shut down. All of the various different services, everything like that is basically shut down. And you reach the center of town where the town hall building is there. Again, seems shut down. I think along in the center of town you see like a map of the area, and this is normally like supposed to be a bustling town. It used to be an inviting town. Tenebris, lore a little bit here, despite being the Darkness State and the most recent war involving Tenebris, ultimately and this is the secret behind it. Sometimes they like to have this bravado, but in reality, the only reason why it's called Tenebris is because the sun shines slightly less here than it does normally, because of some of the mountains that are in the area. It kind of casts a shadow in the area in this area, so it feels like darkness is a little longer. But then it eventually turned into this whole lore of like, oh, these guys are evil and bad guys, and they start all these conflicts and everything like that. In reality, it's like, no,
They just don't get enough
wait a little
sunshine.
longer,
Dang, that sucks. They're just vitamin D deficient.
Yep.
more or less. But that's normal universe.
Can you
In
tell
this
me and
universe,
Anirudh
they're
went
kind
to
of-
University of Pittsburgh?
And in this situation, however,
They
Yami
are
right now is
evil.
giving off that vibe of like, oh no, this is very much giving I'm an evil town, mwahaha sort of feeling. Give me a no, actually no, you were looking for a map, so I'll give it to you. Yeah. On the map area there's like a bulletin board of various things and activities that are happening here. There's only one thing on there, and it's a giant sign. It's a wanted poster of you and Kyle. And he gets the same message there. It's Susie, 100,000, etc., etc. Rotom looks at you like, that's not real, right?
Who's Susie?
That's a fair one.
Yeah, does Rose know Susie?
No.
I don't think you would. Yeah, I don't think you've met Susie. Last time we saw Susie, I think, was during the big Avengers Assemble thing. That was before we met Rose.
Yep.
So, who's Susie? Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know.
You know that there are Ralts because it says so in the paper. There's a small picture of them as well. You see that apparently your ransom is 100,000 Poke for the two of you. So, you know what? Just cause, who would it frustrate more to have a smaller ransom?
I don't think I care.
Okay. I don't know if this bothers Kyle or not, but for some reason Rose is worth slightly more.
It does bother Kyle because Kyle. Well, no. The ransom for Kyle was 100,000 Poke, right?
The ransom for both of you is 100,000 combined.
Oh, come on! Kyle thought he was rich.
I mean, it's a fair bit of cash. I think just for vibe's sake, Rose is worth 51k, and Kyle's 49 for some reason.
Boo.
But yeah, so you see that there, much to everybody's shock. It's like, you what? You do what? When? Where? Why? How? You're looking at this like, who's this Susie character?
Yeah, I don't know who Susie is.
But apparently they're important enough to be kidnapped by you, which you didn't do, thus confusing as to why they're that important.
Or did I?
And this is where we reveal the solo episode that Daisy and I did 10 years ago.
No.
Um,
I guess I just take the flyers off and like shove them in my pocket.
You now have a bunch of flyers here. Congratulations. You've got napkins whenever you need to eat, basically.
And I don't know. Did I find an important building?
You're in front of Town Hall right now. That helps. The investigation core building that's mentioned on this paper, using the map, you can tell it's nearby as well.
Hmm.
And then there's always the fact that you can just leave town.
Victini, what do you think we should do?
I'm an NPC. I don't know. No. What would Victini suggest? Victini is
The
gonna
real question
suggest-
is, would Victini end up on the same wave like that Kyle did? Is the real question.
That is actually a very good point. I think Rotom is suggesting we gotta book it. All right, they want you. It's only a matter of time before they want both of us as well. If they figure out Victini's real, that's a big issue. Probably, we presume so. It can't be great if you realize, hey, gods exist and let's try to capture them and stuff like that. So Rotom is saying Booktown. Victini is now consulting the wheel. So what do you think we should do here? The wheel knows what you know. The wheel thinks you have a plan. I know, but I don't know if Rose is gonna go for it. The wheel thinks that Rose will go for it. Are you sure about it? It's kind of nuts. The wheel thinks Rose knows you're nuts already, so it doesn't really matter and just tell Rose a thing. Are you sure? The wheel doesn't want to talk anymore unless you actually make a decision here. Fine, all right. Okay. So Rose, I have a crazy idea.
Uh-huh.
So question, does Rose go with the idea?
I think a separate idea that I have is not knowing that Kyle knows about these flyers, so maybe saying, I gotta find Kyle. And telling Rotom and Victini to wait for us outside the gate in the direction of Bayville?
Yeah, that is a play.
Which is
The other
where we
gates, basically.
were going?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, and I want to, like, kind of sneak back towards the gates to see if, like, I can see Kyle, because I knew Kyle went the other direction. Like, away from the gates.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
We're about to have a very funny encounter in about 10 minutes of game time.
Victini is a little disappointed that their plan isn't going to go through, but they understand. Okay, Rotom is probably right. We probably can't be caught like this. And so they decide. All right, we'll make a plan. I think their plan is to wait out there, on the other side of the gates. The other gates. They're going to wait there until the end of the 13th. So they'll stay there until the end of the day, because it's like 1:30 in the morning. They'll wait there until the end of the day. If they don't catch you by the end of the day, then something has gone wrong, and they'll come back in.
They'll come back in, or they'll just vamoose and assume we have it handled.
They are not assuming anything. These are my best friends in the world, etc., etc. The
Wow.
V-Wheel has spoken.
We're your
The
best
V-Wheel.
friends, huh?
Rotom doesn't get out a lot. Rotom's a little busy collecting these magical jewels to become the Avatar, effectively. I'll leave that up to you, Daisy, if you want to make that the plan, or if
Sure,
Rose wants to do something different.
That's fine. They can decide whatever.
All right, cool. So they'll stick around to the end of the 13th. Again, it's like 1:30 in the morning, and they go off in the direction of the other gates. Rose, I think, I think this is the first time you're on the adventure on your own. No NPCs, no PCs, no Manaphy Egg, nothing. And you are in the middle of this town.
It's Pokepuff time, baby!
And I think that's a perfect opportunity.
I think I'm heading back towards the gate where I came in because I want to see if I can see Kyle.
That's a good opportunity.
Hey Kyle,
for-
hey Kyle, you're wanted. Kyle being carried by a Beware holding the poster.
Oh, no. You thought I was gonna allow this to happen?
Yeah.
No. Hey, Rose, go ahead and roll me a perception real quick.
The classic DM move.
Despite my 3, I rolled an 8.
Wait, what?
I got 5 plus 3.
Oh.
Oh, despite the +3, I thought you had a +5. I didn't know.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, what?
I've got a plus 5, yeah.
Now, due to the power of Rotom's raw ability to just literally be a shadow, you are not caught, but you feel out of nowhere this sense of dread, fear, anger, annoyance, everything that isn't
nice.
Oh no, I'm feeling not nice.
And with this dread, you see for the first time in a while in this town, there is a creature walking, scanning, searching for anything that isn't supposed to be here.
Oh, I thought this sense of anger and dread was the magician thief.
No. This is somebody far, far more devious.
In Rose's eyes, that's impossible.
No, I think Roses just has a sense of incompetence around the
Oh no, that's what it is. Wait, I feel bad now.
I don't know.
Rose doesn't hate the magician thief. Rose hates themselves.
No, we can't have that. Rose, you've done too much.
Who is it that's walking around? Like, what is it? What's going on?
It is a large creature that blends into the shadows itself, and their name is. So, Kyle, you're going over to the actual situation here. You're in this burlap sack, and magician thief, as a beware, walking over to the investigation. It is eerily quiet. Like, you're allowed in, you have permission, so you're not concerned. And even the magician thief is like they're not too concerned, but there's a little bit of like,
It's too quiet.
it's too quiet.
Yeah, but that's fine. I think Kyle the magician thief, as long as like neither of them, or Kyle at the very least, as long as like no one is within earshot. Like once they're past the gate and like on their own, Kyle is just like making pleasant conversation with the magician thief. As a magician thief disguised as a beware is going to hand Kyle into the authorities and collect a very healthy ransom for the two of them. Like at this point, Kyle is like, this magician thief person, it would be great if, they happen to see or be a certain Pokemon, Kyle's like, I can work with this person. It took a while for Kyle to get there, but Kyle's come around 180 degrees.
Yeah, so it's all pretty good, pretty cool here, all that sort of stuff. Ooh, I can do this now.
Oh, don't make
remind
the
me.
magician thief betray Kyle. They just became friends.
Magician thief punches Kyle in the face and runs away. No, you'll like this, I think, probably. Magician thief, like you're making pleasant conversation, like, oh yeah, things are cool, things are pretty fun. Rose is a fun character. Yeah, I don't know if they like me or not. What if we had good terms with everybody? I haven't stolen from Rose, so I feel like that's a good. Anyway, actually, let me get back on point here. Do you, Kyle, magician thief asks, still have that key? Not with you necessarily, but just you still have it.
Kyle just gives like a hesitant nod, just like as far as I know.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I am probably wrong. The magician thief, I believe, has 2 keys.
Yes.
Do you remember what color they are?
Remind me the 4 colors of the keys.
Red, black, blue, and green, I think.
I think green is the one that's still at large.
Okay.
I think every other key is accounted for.
Figured. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So as you guys are walking over to the investigation core thing, the magician thief, I think in conversations like, you want to know what those keys open?
Kyle's eyes are the size of dinner plates. Kyle's just like, oh my god, yes, please.
Adore.
The voice of Rose just being like, adore. It's like, yes, that's correct. So, remember the blank mansion?
Kyle slowly nods.
So that is a building. I gotta get back into the magician thief. So that right there is a building that represents the legends. You kind of got that.
Kyle's eyebrows are about 3 feet above this burlap sack right now.
There's just floating eyebrows out there. Well, because it's a blank mansion, okay? It's supposed to represent, at least from our knowledgeable perspective, it's Arceus's home. Arceus. It's one of those names. Represents him.
Kyle's eyes are somehow now as large as the magician thief's head. Each individual eye is the size of the magician thief's head, as Kyle is just like, how do you know so much?
You never figured that. Well, I guess you've been a little busy. But that is supposed to be art. Technically speaking, I'm being real technically speaking, if Arceus were to ever come to the mortal world and be like, I gotta go back to my house, he'd go there.
Kyle is slightly upset that he is. Wait, hold on. Important question. How roomy is this burlap sack?
You got moved to. You can wiggle around a bit. You're
Kyle
you're like
Kyle at-
loosely in a blanket.
Yeah, okay. Kyle at this point has like taken his backpack, turned it around in front of him, has pulled out the Book of Myths, and without being able to see, because his I assume like the sack is like tied around like Kyle's like neck area so that like his head's sticking out of the burlap sack.
Sure, yeah.
Kyle is like blindly from the Book of Myths just by like feel and like memorization of the pages and chapters, like furiously writing notes.
Roll a d20 with advantage.
The biggest roll of my life, baby. Oh my god! Guys, you know what's crazier than one nat one?
2 nat ones.
Yeah.
Greatest roll of your life? Epic fail.
Ice cold.
Okay, Kyle's not gonna be able to read any of this later, but
Do I just make this terrible? Like, you break the Book of Myths or something?
oh my, you know, you gave me a roll with advantage, and I rolled double nat ones. I was about to say what are the odds, but I mean we know the odds.
What's in your bag?
Ah! Don't ask that question. 3 apples, 3 orange berries, an energy seed, a huge apple, a cherry berry, a reviver seed, a citrus berry, a soren berry, a perpetrator berry, a dragon device, a frozen rock, the Book of Myths, a golden mask, and the legendary deck.
You know, okay, we'll make this comedic.
Aw, thank you. For a half second, I thought Kyle was about to punch a hole through the deck of cards and just lose it.
No, I think we'll just make this comedic. Despite somehow, no idea how, eventually, and I'm gonna write this down because I have to remember this. Eventually, in the Book of Myths, you drew a mustache on Groudon.
Oh my god, the fact that you're writing that down and the fact that we have to meet Groudon later, you're gonna make this incredibly relevant.
That's the first creation. We gotta show the land rival this.
Kyle,
Show Groudon the first creation. Look, it is the first mustache.
no, I know for a fact that about 2.5 arcs from now, they're gonna pull up to Groudon, and Honorud is gonna somehow coax me into opening the Book of Myths in front of Groudon, and there's gonna be a mustache, and Kyle's immediately just gonna eat a heat crash.
Groudon's gonna be like, oh wow, you've been researching legendaries. Well, let me tell you my story. What have you written about me?
All you see, mustache on the Groudon. How dare you, apostate?
How did you know?
Oh no, Daisy, you're taking this in the optimistic direction. Honorud would not be writing this down if he didn't have plans to banish Kyle to the Shadow Realm right now.
Groudon pulls out his favorite pair of Groucho glasses, puts on his mustache and glassware. You forgot the funky nose.
To your head, Kyle. This is flawless. You're writing this on the margin. It's beautiful. You forgot there was a blank sheet of paper. I forgot. I put a blank sheet of paper here. Let's just write it down here. Anyway, Blake House, Arceus house.
Some very interesting lore.
There's another house.
Oh.
Now, I forget which one of you or both of you, but you have been to another house.
Both of us.
Correct. Okay.
This is the dream that I ended on my own.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Wait. No. Kyle's been to the other house.
Yes.
The magician thief pulled Kyle into the other house, basically.
Correct. There's another house.
Kyle is slowly nodding, just like, yes, please.
And there are 4 keyholes to get into that other house. Thus the 4 keys.
Yeah, Kyle is like waiting with anticipation to hear like more about the house.
Now I can't tell you everything, but I can tell you what you already know and let you put 2 and 2 together. If there is a house for Arceus, there must be a house for the opposite.
Darkius.
Kyle at this point is like blindly like thumbing through the book, like opposite of Arceus.
I got it. It's Darkius.
And so Yeah. If there's the White House, the blank mansion, then there is I forget what the Noir House. Is that what I called it?
I do
Maybe.
not remember. The full mansion.
The Noir mansion. It's something to do with Noir, I think. There's the Noir mansion. Oh yeah, it would be Noir because I the blank house I think is supposed to be blank like French is blanc.
Blanc.
So Noir uh night technically because or black. I forget what it is. Anyway, there's the Noir mansion. And so if your boss has a house there, my boss has a house on the other side. Do you get what I'm putting down here?
Hoopa.
Kyle is Kyle's not exactly putting it together. Kyle's just like, you can see the gears turning, just like the Magician Thief's boss. Who's the Magician Thief's boss?
You've met Miss Mages before, haven't you? I think I remember
Kyle's-
mentioning this.
Kyle slowly nods.
Well, they mentioned they mentioned to me, this is how they talked to me about you and what they told you. Something along the lines of, you've known about our boss since the very first word. And that's kind of what it is, because the first word wasn't a creation, it was a banishment.
Kyle is flipping through the book, just trying to piece it together. I don't know if Kyle's gonna piece this together. I think I have, but I don't know if Kyle
You could probably piece this together if Kyle could actually like open the book, but right now like you're flipping through the pages and you can't see the burlap sack, right?
Yeah. So I think Kyle's like, you can see Kyle's like brain racing. He's trying to be like banishment. Opposite of Arceus, but there's no opposite of Arceus because Arceus is better.
And now I'm gonna give this to you because I think this is fun. The Book of Myths. I think you're flipping through this, but it's not the Book of Myths that you remember. It's from the very start of this entire show. The first canon things I said.
Ha!
It's something that you added in post that I probably.
It is
never heard.
not.
Oh,
It is something I explicitly said to you and Mansoor at the very beginning of the show, because
It probably has something to do with like what Muhammad has pieced together. Is there's something Giratina related? I just don't remember exactly what.
I think this is how you get to that point, because you remember the very last lesson Mrs. Quagmire had was telling you guys this story. We begin at the beginning. Long ago there was nothing and no one. Then there was something and no one. An egg appeared in the space of nothingness. Then there was the one, the creator of all Pokemon, friend of all, master of none, Arceus. Arceus, knowing what its job was, then developed the standards and laws that shape our world. Dialga is formed to govern time, and in your head you picture Dialga. Palkia is formed to govern space. Palkia is in your head now. Giratina is formed to govern the opposite of matter. Yuxi, Mesprit, and Azelf are created to provide knowledge, willpower, and emotion to all who desire it. But then, antimatter aimed to take over regular matter, and Giratina was to blame. Its destructive nature forced Arceus to send it to the distortion world, the flip side of our world, a world where up is down, left is right, water burns, and fire flows. And that pops into your head as you realize
Yeah. Okay. Kyle remembers. Woo.
everything. As you realize who their boss is. You realize who the Magician Thief's boss is.
Yeah. Kyle's like, wait a minute. I don't know how Kyle pieces this together, but I think Kyle realizes, or I don't know if Kyle verbalizes this rather, but Kyle's pieced together. Wait a second, they're the losts of the recruit.
I think the Magician Thief has realized that you pieced it together and is like, yeah, see, like I said, you and I, same path, just different, or same end goal, different paths there.
Kyle nods. Kyle's nodding along and then pauses and then just kind of looks questioningly into the dark abyss of the cloak and just goes, wait, but what? If Hoopa gets Wish, aren't you all happy? Why do you want to stop Hoopa?
What? No, it is very, very bad if Hoopa gets Wish. I think the Magician Thief is like, what?
Kyle's 10-year-old brain doesn't understand that if all matter is destroyed, then all antimatter is also destroyed. So Kyle's just like, wait, why is this a bad thing for you?
How do I explain this? Okay, Kyle. So if you push on a wall, the wall pushes back. You with me there?
Kyle, I think slowly nods. I think this makes sense to Kyle.
Okay. If the wall is broken, then you can't push the wall, and the wall can't push you back.
Kyle, like, once again nods.
You be pushing, I be the other side. If wall is gone, both of us gone.
Kyle, Kyle takes a second to think, and then like the light bulb just goes off. He's just like, oh.
Also, I live here. My
Ki-
stuff is here.
Kyle at this point, like, just realized, oh, right. Oh, okay. Well, that answers that.
Yep. But that out of every of the Pokemon, we all can come and go and everything like that. The boss, however, can't come here and just like vaguely gestures to the land.
Kyle nods.
So because of that, boss is there. We can go there. They can't come here, but we can't go there because go there is through that door.
Kyle, at this point is like, oh.
Now, if we could go there, we could get help, but we can't go there, so we can't get help.
Kyle at this point just kind of nods in understanding because Kyle now understands. Okay, cool. These are friends, not food.
And I think unless you have any other, do you have any?
And now Kyle all of a sudden is like much less protective of the red key. Kyle's still hanging on to it, but you know, Kyle's like less of, oh, I need this as collateral, and more of, I am keeping this safe so they're not all in one place so they don't get lost.
Yeah. Anything else you want to ask?
And I think Kyle's all. I think Kyle just like nods in understanding.
And
Kyle at this
so-
point is
yeah.
like, Kyle at this point understands that he and the magician thief are now two sides of the same coin, working in tandem.
And now he's immediately about to turn you over to the to the bad guy investigation core thing.
Exactly.
And with that, you guys reach the investigation core, and I think we can end the episode here. Dun dun dun.
Da-ba-ba.
That is where we will do it here.
Oh my god, I just thought of something really fun, but I'll save it for the post-game show.
We've got Kyle and Magician Thief working in tandem to potentially steal $100,000, not literally, but like emotionally steal $100,000 from these bad guys.
Well, not
Emotionally?
Okay, one, no. Two, no. Kyle and the magician thief are working together to free the recruits because that benefits both of them. And Kyle originally thought, oh, the incentive to get the magician thief on board would be a fun little $100,000 reward. That the magician thief doesn't really like hoarding stuff. Like, the magician thief always returns everything they steal, but this wouldn't be something they steal, so they could just go out and get something nice for themselves for once.
You know what? I've really needed a new coat.
Exactly.
Um,
So,
that's happening.
So
Rose is in the middle of town,
Kyle
panicking.
was like, this is the incentive to get the magician thief to work with me, before Kyle learned, wait, there doesn't need to be an incentive. We are on the same team here.
That's occurring on that side. Rose is about to like get enveloped by darkness or something. I don't know. That's guys, plot twist. This is where we kill off Rose as a character.
I think as terrified as I am, I'm just trying to follow whoever that is.
So that's happening on that side. And if you want to figure out what happens next time, you can join us next time. Yeah, that's how it works. Thank you everyone for listening, watching, and supporting in any way, shape, or form that you do. I've been your PM, your DM, your jam, Anaru himself.
I've been Muhammad playing Kyle.
And I've been
Why am I talking?
Daisy using fork.
Now I talk. Okay. Until next time. I was gonna try to say some yummy no darkness.
Oh, I just realized we're not doing a post game.
Y'all could
Maybe
do
there's a
both.
post game, maybe there's not. Who knows? Okay, great. Bye.